Good afternoon on this happy Monday, June 8th, for our Week 12B FFFFL matchup preview show. Yours truly, Thrills. The last time I'll be sitting in a classroom doing one of these videos. That is crazy. That is crazy. So last week, once again, did not track my. You know what? Hold on one moment. Because last week was literally only Thursday, and my notes are still here in this teacher's trash can. So I picked Bidet to win. He did not win. I picked Nothing to win. He did win. I picked Dangerous Wise Ones to win. He did not win. I picked SOP to win. He did not win. I picked IT to guy win. He did not win. I picked myself to win. I did win. So a whopping 2 and 4 last week. Wow, that's embarrassing. But it can only get better from here, right? Right? But anyways, without further ado, I'll try not to hold you 20 minutes, although some of you, this is the best appointment viewing you have all week. And stick around to the end to see what else I got in store for you later this week. But anyways, let's get started with our first matchup of the week. And I'm looking at Italian guy sitting in 9th place at 4-6-1, going up against Sold to the Highest Bidet in 10th place, sitting at 3-7-1. So we could see a little flip-flop of Rooney here with these two boys this week, depending on how the outcome of this matchup goes. So IT guy, painful loss to BJG right there, just down to the wire Sunday afternoon. I mean, the man went 15 for 42 with 3 home runs, 11 RBIs, and 29 total bases on Sunday. In a close matchup like yours was, that is always going to sting you right there. Looking at your team, though, something that, and I'm sure you did, but it didn't work out in your favor, was you probably should have put a waiver claim in for William Contreras right there. Will Smith is getting eerily close to bitch boy status with the numbers he's putting up this year. Not looking like the Will Smith from last year who had an OPS of damn near 900. More like just a standard-ass regular Sandy Leon style catcher right there. Kind of similar to the way Brent Rooker's been playing most of the year. Best week of the year last week for Brent, it was week 11. If that's your best week and it's week 11, damn, that hurts. That hurts. And he was a high dollar draft pick right there for Ahar. But, you know, luckily for him, he's got someone else's team that like 5 of us have owned this year and nobody held on to long-term enough to reap the rewards like Ahar is. But Brandon fucking Marsh must be like a contract year for him or something coming up. Although looking at Brandon Marsh, I don't know if I'm the only one. I was thinking about Jason Worth. I was thinking of the caveman for some reason, just roaming that Philadelphia Phillies outfield. But B. Marsh, I mean, batting over 300, OPS over 8, almost 900. Dude's been a top 100 player the past month, if not the whole season. So he hasn't been a top 100 the whole season, but he has been damn awesome the past like 6 weeks. So good job for you. And I am looking forward to reviewing this twin trade we saw go down in the league just yesterday. A Taj Bradley for Royce Lewis, swap a Rooney right there. That'll be intriguing to see how that really pans out. Does Royce Lewis provide any sort of value to Billy Baseball? And does Taj Bradley stay healthy long enough to really see how awesome he's been this year, continue to build? So Ahar strengthening that staff and not really giving up that much, because all I did was pick up Royce off of the waivers right there and let him sit in NA spot for about 2 days. And now Ahar, I don't have to fly to Portland to kick you in the nuts and get back on a plane, because I don't care what he does now, because he's on Billy's team, not your team. And you don't get to reap those rewards like somebody else would have. Bidet, let's talk about you for a second. Possibly one of the worst weeks of offense I've seen in this league all season long. You had no home runs through Friday. 3 after Saturday. I don't even know what you finished at right there, but that can only really give you a face like, man. Like, dudes are sneezing and hitting home runs, and your team got none. And you got Max Muncy, you got Mookie, you got Acuna, you got Brian Reynolds, you got dudes that can hit some dingers. But none of them, up until Saturday, decided that they wanted to hit one. But thankfully, you picked up Matt McLain today, and we saw him hit 2 home runs yesterday, so that means he's due for 2 more by September 23rd. So just hold on to him. He might get 2 more in that, time span right there. We know Matt McClain it's not 2021 anymore, 2022. It's not when he was good. It's now when his shoulder is permanently injured and he's just a standard sack of shit. So I'm sorry to break that news for you. And then, I see somebody on the horizon getting in some low A ball down there, Tariq Skubal. If he comes back and this O just clicks a smidge, and I know I just got done hammering home how shitty they were Monday through Friday, but it's some good players. He has some players on his team right there in Bidet. So if the offense can click a little bit, the season's not out. You win this week, 6th place is 4-3-4. I mean, granted, that is over 500, and right now you're technically 4 games under 500, but crazier things have happened. 1 through 6 are not locked down already. All right, moving on to our next matchup. Sons of Pitches. Oh, let's see. Cody versus Alex, 2 grade school friends competing against one another. One brought into the league by the other. There's no way Italian guy loses again. So, A-Harb, you'll pick up the dub right there. Next up, we got Sons of Pitches versus 12th, or should I say 11th place. 11th, buddy. There you go, B Green. Sons of Pitches, you lost to the hottest team in the league last week. Pants has been on fire, and it's not because he's been a liar. It's because his team has been freaking awesome. I don't know how, but his team has been. Kind of like Josh Young has been awesome for you recently. Like, he's playing better than Vladdy Daddy. And, excuse me, Gunna, I got some I call them nick-ups right now. If you know what I mean, you know what I mean. But Josh Young, looking like the rookie of the year that we saw just a few years ago, finally doing something, and it's nice to see. I like Texas. I want Texas to be, playing well and competitive out there in the AL West. So good job for Josh. And somebody else I just want to give a kudos to. Anybody that lives around Atlanta knows that without this player for the Braves, we would not be sitting at the best record in baseball. And that's Mauricio Dubon. That dude has been awesome. And Reimar, I'm glad you have it. Being the Braves fan that you are, I'm super stoked. And am I the only one that's coined the term Mauricio Dubon when he hits a home run? Because if I am, then that's patent pending now. Nobody can steal it. But Dubombs from Dubon just flows right off the tongue. And if Blake Snell can come back in the second half like he's done his entire career and just be a Cy Young candidate, throwing a no-hitter, 6 innings for somehow 15 Ks, and then he's out in the next 2 weeks, but doesn't matter. Reimer, you got a chance too, buddy. I mean, you're only sitting there at 3-5-3. So as you notice, this week we're going to have a lot of non-playoff teams playing each other and playoff teams playing each other. So it's a great week in this fantasy world. People jockeying for position, and those top 6 seeds just trying to hold on to those. Just like Sons of Pitches wants to claim one of those top 6. The man that did more research to start his season outside of maybe A-Harb than anybody. Well, I did a lot of research too. But the man knew everybody. So let's see if it pays off for him. Now, B Green, 2 in a row. 1 more. And as Lou said in Major League, 1 more, that's a streak. I know we're not used to those around these parts. A winning streak. But you could do it, buddy. You could do it. Your random pickups are going crazy. Just pissed the hell out of A-Harb last week. Everybody loves to see A-Harb get a little frustrated. It's hilarious. I can see him right now just bitching about Zach Neto and Kobe Mayo and Colton Cowser and Michael Massey, just Scrubville, USA, dominating. But that's pretty freaking tight. That is pretty. Ooh, I'm getting a spam call right now. Let me decline that. There we go. You're going to need more of that. I mean, if you want to continue this win streak, it's just going to have to keep rolling over. Your offense has been playing pretty well recently. You always find a way to make a pitching staff quality somehow, some way. Now, the team stats might disagree, and I'm not going to pull those up this week, or at least today. But I've seen some good things out of you recently, BJG. If your fantasy baseball acumen ever gets to where your chat GPT and acumen is, the whole league is screwed. Big Un's just going to run roughshod throughout the league. This week, though, I got to say, you won't get to a streak. Or will you, because I'm going to pick you to win. B Green, 3rd win in a row, staying competitive. And our last matchup before we hit commercial break of non-playoff teams. That's right, we're doing the playoff, the have-nots, as somebody here might say. All stars versus all duds. All studs, all duds, Ben Harbor. That's perfect because it's going to transition right into wrong hole versus pants. Now, when I think about Ben's team, right now the only thing that is coming to my mind is this. We on fire. If it gets too hot, about in this spot, we on fire. Because Ben's team is on fire right now. On fire. G Unit said it best. We on fire up in here. And that's without even Francisco Lindor and the most strained calf in MLB history playing a game since he got his 91st at bat earlier in the season. So Ben, love to see you being competitive to a degree, just competitive enough to not ever make the playoffs. That'd be fine with me. Something else that when I'm looking at Ben's team is how did this motherfucker pick up a top 5 catcher, having already just acquired a top 10 catcher? Ben, 2 of the best 10 catchers in the game right now in Liam Hicks and William Contreras. When some of us are just hoping that our catcher gets an at-bat in the game and they're not Chadwick Tromping it out there, just one at bat every 3 games on average or something. So, or at least 1 hit every 3 games, because there's some scrubby ass catchers out there in the league this year. Also some good ones that aren't being utilized. But Ben, for some reason, decided he just wants to hoard 2 of the better ones right there. Well, a real dick move, Ben. Mainly because I tried to pick up Contreras. The only holdup I can see from Ben's team consistently being on fire throughout the remainder of the year is a consistent lack of home run hitters. Now he's got 3 guys that on a week-to-week basis, you know they're going to smack some ding-dongs for you. But outside of that, it's like some Michael Garcias, some slap hitters right there, or some Trent Grishams who, if they do hit a home run, then they're striking out like 13 of their next 18 at bats. So Ben, if you found a way to acquire people that smack the ball or the fence in a more timely manner and a more consistent manner, rather, that would be very, very good for your team. Now, wrong hole. Let's talk about you for a second. I don't even know where to begin. You've snatched defeat from the jaws of victory for like the 4th time this season. You've gone into the weekend looking dominant so many weeks only to just face plant, dude. Like straight up Tony Hawk jackass style face plant. It's ridiculous. And I don't even see how. Like, I love this offense. I raved about it many, many weeks. I'm going to continue raving about it. I love the offense of this team. And I even love most of the pitching staff as well. I just can't fathom. It's almost like another team is like, I can't fathom how they keep winning. I can't understand and comprehend how you keep losing, dude. Like 2-7-2, dead ass last. I literally don't even know what to say right now about your players. All I can say is, as a Braves fan, it hurts me. I don't ever see Spencer Strider looking like a Cy Young candidate again. Like, that 15th elbow surgery really took the toll on him right there. And we're just going to have to be lucky with 5 innings of like 4 or 5 Ks every start. Like the 7 innings, 10K days. Gone. Just in time for that. At least he didn't sign an expensive extension right there. So we got that to look forward to. In this matchup, though, what Wrong Hole has to look forward to, and I can't pick him to win until I see something. So Pants, hottest team. Jaycock, coldest team. Statistics show Pants is going to pick up the dub. And with that, we're halfway through. And let's take it to commercial.
This season on baseball.
Let's just say it's been a big year for the Brizzle Souvenir Company.
Lots of home runs. And what do you know? Demand's off the charts. That's another sale!
More home runs means one thing. Expansion.
Brizzle Souvenir Company. This is Addison Russell.
50 to Puerto Rico? I get you 100 to Puerto Rico. That's how much I like it.
What do you think about foul balls?
It's an okay idea.
We're looking at any and all opportunities for growth. We need a jingle.
All right, I'm nervous, but I got something.
Long gone home run, this one's gonna go. Kiss it goodbye, that ball was Brizzle!
Yes! But the truth is, only one thing can get us where we need to be.
Finally. Hard work.
Big homers.
That ball was Brizzle!
And interns.
We put the ding in dingers.
And we're back from commercial with 3 matchups to go. So let's start off with our first playoff matchup. We're looking at the 4 seed versus 6 seed here. And we've got the Wiz versus Master Exploder. Wiz, another week, another playoff team you have to try to beat. So he has really hit the hardest part of his schedule. He just needs to try to maintain. Picked up a dub last week over Dangerous Wise Ones. If he can pick up a dub this week over Master Exploder, that'll go a long way to solidifying him being in the playoffs. Playoffs right there. You do have two of the hottest hitters on the face of the earth right now, PCA and JH Lee. After that, well, meh, meh. In the words of Lisa Simpson, meh, meh. Or in an Adam Sandler style movie where they just repeatedly say that, like in Grown Ups, that's a movie that's been in our house repeatedly for many years. Meh, meh, meh. I can just see Chris Rock and him and Kevin James and Rob Schneider just doing that meh back and forth for no reason right there, which is what I do anytime I look at your offense. Pitching staff-wise, best staff in the league. Hands down, best staff in the league. No qualms about it, no ifs, ands, or buts, no nothing. That staff is phenomenal. Something that you'll probably like that is phenomenal is that Brandon Woodruff may pitch in the Arizona Fall League here in the next couple weeks. So only 8 more weeks until he's back in the majors, buddy. That's something positive for you. Master Exploder, let's move on to you now. Not many positives to speak of after last week. Shut down is shut up right there. Well, I guess you weren't really shut up. You were shut out. Because you weren't really, you're not a shit talker like, Anthony and Rywalk. Those guys, they really take the cake on that shit. But I don't foresee things getting much better. I see some desperation moves being made right now. Desperation with the pickups of Spencer Strikeout Jones and Brandon, don't call me Fernando Valenzuela. I mean, just a couple of guys that everybody's had an opportunity to look at. Everybody has looked at in the league and been like, I can't pull the trigger. Like, he's not better than anybody on my team. So I guess you must have dropped, someone like George Spring the Ding, who everybody said was shitty, but you picked up, hyped up. And we're going to pause for just one moment. So even with dropping Spring the Ding and adding those players, your offense probably not going to be enough to carry you week in and week out. But luckily, your pitching staff, through your acclimation, your acquisition, that's the word I was looking for, of pitchers throughout the year, you're going to be all right most weeks. You can probably fight, 9-5, 8-6, keep yourself close until the offense decides that they want to be good again. But this week, though, I don't foresee them being good enough to actually pick up a victory. I foresee the Wiz picking up his 6th victory of the season. All right, so that moves us on to 2 matchups remaining here, and I will not be under the 20-minute mark. I apologize, so feel free to fast forward and do what you need to do right there. But we're going to move into our second to best matchup of the week. We're talking about DWO's Dangerous Wise Ones versus Thrill House. Thrill House, as usual, lucky-ass victory. That's what you do. You just pull out lucky-ass victories right there. But a victory is a victory nonetheless right there. But I do have a very important question for you, my good man. You own 2 Cubbies. You hate the Cubbies. The 2 Cubbies you own are playing like absolute dog shit. How do you feel about that? Are you okay that the Cubbies are sucking, but your players are sucking because the Cubbies are sucking? It's just a perpetual cycle of suckiness? Or, as a Cardinals fan, you're like, well, my team sucks, so it'd be great if the Cubs are pretty good, so that way my players could maybe score some runs or knock in a few RBIs or something like that. Just a conundrum, just a question that I had that hopefully you'd be able to provide me some form of answer to. I doubt you can, but we'll pretend. Something I wish I could pretend is that Carson Bang was still on my team. I want to call him Carson Bang. I know that's not anywhere close, but Bang Bang just sounds so much fun when I think about Cactus Jack and Mankind. But if I would have dropped him and I could pretend I held him for more than 20 minutes, that'd be awesome because the dude is really showing out right now. You're a real dick bag for picking him back up. But once again, I had him, you had him, A-Harp had him, we all had him and said, no, he's not good enough, I'll drop him. And you decided that, no, he was good enough to make the cut for your team right there. Unlike Boba Shit, who should really be dropped, he's just stealing money. As far as I'm concerned, he's on the FBI's most wanted list for stealing over $100 million from the Mets. Most other teams I'd be upset about, but it's the Mets, so fuck the Mets. Moving on, Dangerous Wise Ones. Your team is basically, we had Diana Ross and the Pips. I think you've got Shohei and the Otanis, maybe? Shohei and the Tanis? Ooh, let's go with that. Shohei and the Tanis, because that's what your team is right now. It's Shohei and a bunch of dudes that are having career years. And I don't know if you're familiar with somebody named Brian LaHair. I know a lot of us are very keen and familiar with Brian LaHair right there. All-star first half of the season with the Cubbies about 10 years ago, and then fell off the face of the earth. If even 3 of your dudes pull a Brian LaHair, your playoff chances are slimmer and slimmer by the moment. So just throwing that out there for you, buddy. And it'd be a damn shame if all of your players pulled a Brian LaHair right there in the second half. Clearly, you watched my video from last week, and as I said, Wyatt Langford could be trade bait, and you did indeed trade him for something your team actually needed, which was pitching. So, good job for you. I'm McClanahan, a Devil Rays pitcher. I always call him the Devil Rays. I refuse to call him Tampa Bay Rays or Tampa Bay Devil Rays. For my Gator boy right there, I greatly appreciate that trade. I think it's going to work out well for both parties. It already has. And if you're looking to deal again, you might want to deal, a Luke Raley or Ryan O'Hearn or an Alec Burleson, because they're all the same exact player. Same exact player. Like, I'm going to slap some doubles, hit a few dingers, get on base, but aside from that, like, they are all so interchangeable, it's not even funny. So, luckily for you, I like you, and Thrill House doesn't deserve to get 2 wins in a row, so I'm going to pick Dangerous Wise Ones to get off the cuff and come back with his victory. Which leads us to the matchup of the week. Yes, indeed, 1 versus 2. And unfortunately, I'm not the 1. I am the 2. Big Ant, nothing, just first, going up against the Thrills Revenge Tour. Both teams 8-2-1 coming in. Both teams, well, one team commanding their division, the other team in a dogfight for their division. Luckily, the Andrew Jones division does appear to be a little more spaced out from the top to the bottom. But the Andrew Jones division is not one to be scoffed at. Better overall records and a stronger overall division, if you ask me. But most of you didn't, and most of you won't. So I gave my opinion unprovoked and unrequested. Now, Anthony, let's just run it. Player by player, position by position. You did already dominate the Thrills Revenge Tour 12-2 earlier in the season. Just beat my ass. You beat it, and God, you beat me so bad. But the team name is Thrills Revenge Tour. And as the gift stated, vengeance will be mine. I'm coming for the Ulafala. But let's take it down position by position. Ivan Herrera, Carson Kelly. The nod's going to Ivan Herrera. Bryce Harper, Freddie Freeman. I was doting on Freddie last week, so I can't go back on that. So I'll go Freddie Freeman. Ozzie and Bryce Terang. Ozzie. Sal Stewart and Chase Mydroth. Sal Stewart. Bobby Witt and Xander. Even a one-legged Bobby Witt's better than Xander Bogaerts. Colt Emerson, Ernie Clement. One of them is getting dingers, one of them getting on base. Once again, I raved about Ernie last week. He tipped out my cuz pretty good, so I'll give the edge to Ernie Clement there. O'Neill, Cruz, Kyle Schwarbaby. 2 dudes, very similar batting profiles. Going to strike out a lot, going to hit a lot of dingers, going to swing the bat real hard. If O'Neill Cruz has another week like he did in week 2 when we played each other, I have no chance. But he hasn't done that since week 2, which means he's probably damn due, and it could come back and bite me. But in this case, I'm going with Schwarbaby. Kyle Tucker, Daniel Schneemann. What is he, related to Mr. Schneebly from School of Rock? No, he's probably not, but that movie is awesome. Kyle Tucker better. Belly, Noviel Marte. We know Terry Francona hates Marte, so it's obviously Belly. Wyatt Langford, Jose Caballero. Jose Caballero's got to steal first base. Wyatt Langford doesn't. Wyatt Langford. Jake Bowers, Luis Garcia. Everybody knows there's no Bauer outage going on. I got a Bauer, dick joke. Insert dick joke there for Jake Bowers. And then you got your bench players. You got Michael Harris, Austin Riley, Buxton, Aaron Judge on the IL. Hate to see it. Can your team recover? I hope not for your sake. Stronger bench, stronger offense, the Thrills. Pitching-wise, this is where you're going to definitely take the cake. Paul Skeens, Shohei, Paul Skeens. Zach Wheeler. I literally have nobody else to compete with that. So your pitch staff's going to take it. My offense is going to take it. If I can just get a couple things right pitching-wise, I'm going to beat you. If you can get a couple things right hitting-wise, you're going to beat me. But, I got some bad news. I'm the commish. You are a former champ. I'm a former champ. You've never been a commish. You're not winning this week. I'm done with this shit. You're going down. I will be number 1, and you will acknowledge me at the end of this week. On the Slack board by Sunday evening after you've been defeated, I expect you to say, Thrills, I acknowledge you. And if I lose, I will reciprocate and say, Anthony, I acknowledge you. So be a man, accept my challenge, and accept your fate of falling in line behind your Anthony only your tribal chief. That's it for this week, boys. I hope next week we'll be in location back at the Thrills Casa 6627. But tune in tomorrow to the channel. We got something special for you. For your commish, Thrills, out.